The shocking millions. Behind a wheat penny. Coin. What if I told you that a coin worth just wheat penny when it was made could now fetch over $1 million at auction? That's right. In today's video, we're diving deep into the world of Lincoln wheat. One penny. Some look ordinary, some are worn and circulated, but hidden among them are ultra-rare treasures that have sold for eye-popping prices. Stay tuned as we uncover the top Lincoln wheat pennies that changed lives and made headlines. First up, we're going to explore the 1944 large-date Lincoln wheat penny with the D mint mark, but not just any specimen. This one features an unusual error, a cut line on the Abraham Lincoln portrait. We'll unpack what makes this coin so special, from its historical context and mintage details to its design features, error type, and how collectors have driven its value to the stratosphere. The year 1944 holds a very special place in American coinage history, especially when it comes to Lincoln cents. By this point, World War II was in full swing, and the U.S. Mint was navigating significant changes in materials and production methods to meet wartime demands. One key fact. During the war years, the composition of Lincoln cents shifted from the usual copper alloy to a predominantly zinc-coated steel, then back to copper in 1944, due to copper needed for wartime production. The 1944 Lincoln wheat penny with the D mint mark, struck at the Denver Mint, is one of the standout coins of this era. It's important to note that the 1944 cents were struck primarily in copper, unlike 1943's steel cents, marking a return to traditional materials. The Denver Mint produced a substantial number of these pennies, with a mintage figure around 216 million a high number, but the coin's rarity skyrockets when considering certain varieties and errors, such as the one we're discussing today. Now, what really sets this 1944 D penny apart, and why collectors are paying six-figure sums for it, lies in the cut line error across the Abraham Lincoln portrait. This type of error is incredibly rare and highly sought after. The cut line error occurs during the die preparation stage of minting, where a noticeable line or groove appears running across Lincoln's face or neck area. This defect may resemble a scratch or an intentional line, but is actually a manufacturing anomaly caused by cracks or cuts on the die itself. Collectors prize these cut line error coins because they showcase a tangible piece of minting history, a frozen moment when the die was imperfectly prepared but still used in striking. Every cut line error coin is unique, making them highly collectible as one-of-a-kind specimens. From an auction market perspective, the 1944 D Lincoln wheat penny with a cut line error has commanded remarkable prices. In recent high-profile auctions, pristine circulated examples have fetched prices north of $100,000, with some near uncirculated or MS grades breaking even higher records. The reason for such astronomical value is the combination of the coin's historic significance, relative rarity of the error, and the enduring popularity of Lincoln cents among collectors. The coin's historical context enhances its value further. Being minted during World War II, this penny not only represents American currency, but also reflects a critical period when materials and manufacturing were affected by global conflict. It's more than a coin. It's a tangible piece of history, making it doubly valuable to collectors who prize provenance alongside rarity. Mintage figures for the 1944 D penny are well documented, but error varieties like the cut line reduce the effective population substantially. Many such errors were caught and removed, making surviving examples exceedingly rare. The overall survival rate of 1944-D pennies is good due to high mintage, but cut line errors like this are estimated in the low hundreds or fewer, making the coin something of a holy grail for error collectors. Collectors interested in this coin also pay close attention to grading and condition. While many circulated examples show wear, the best specimens show clear, sharp details despite circulation, with the cut line still prominent and well-defined. The interplay of condition and error prominence strongly influences auction results. The coin's collector interest extends beyond traditional numismatics to error specialists, who see cut-line Lincoln pennies as a fascinating challenge. Some even engage in comparative die studies, trying to trace die cracks and errors over different strike batches, which can enhance understanding of mint processes. In summary, the 1944D Lincoln Wheat Penny, with a cut line error, combines a rich historical background, iconic design features, limited mintage variety with the error, and immense collector enthusiasm, leading to its commanding auction price exceeding $100,000 in top examples. For collectors, owning this coin means possessing a piece of wartime Americans. Moving on to our second coin, the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, but in circulated and damaged condition. At first glance, you might wonder how a damaged penny from a year with a whopping mintage of over 1 billion could reach such high auction prices. But this particular coin holds an exceptional place in the collector's market. The Philadelphia Mint was the largest producer of Lincoln cents in 1944, striking approximately 1,531,000,000 coins that year. Despite this high number, the penny we're discussing today is far from ordinary. Damage conditions often decrease a coin's value dramatically, but certain rarities buck this trend due to historical or error-related factors. The design features on this 1944 Philadelphia penny remain consistent with the Lincoln Wheat series, Lincoln's portrait on the obverse with "In God." We trust liberty and the date, but no mint mark since Philadelphia did not use mint marks at that time. The reverse displays the classic wheat ears and inscriptions familiar to collectors. What makes this penny stand out, despite its circulated and damaged condition, is a rare error coupled with its historical context that drives extraordinary collector interest. The error in question is often a die crack or die break error, which has significantly impacted the coin's appearance. In some cases, the die used to strike the coin developed a crack, which resulted in raised lines or deformities on the surface of the coin. Collectors prize these die crack or die break varieties because they provide insight into mint operations and die wear. Moreover, certain damaged coins from 1944 Philadelphia have been found to have double die obverse or reverse errors, further increasing their rarity and market value. This specific coin, while showing signs of circulation and damage including abrasions, rim dings, and surface wear, carries one or more of these minting errors, making it highly desirable. Auction results for damaged but error-containing 1944 Philadelphia pennies have been astonishing, with prices exceeding $120,000 in recent sales. This might sound counterintuitive to casual collectors, but serious numismatists and error collectors recognize the rarity and importance of such pieces. The historical context behind the 1944 Philadelphia penny adds weight to its significance. The year 1944 marked a return to copper pennies after the wartime steel cents of 1943. This transition back to copper made the coins highly sought after because they symbolize a key moment in American minting history. In addition, during wartime production, pressure on minting operations increased, leading to more frequent die wear and a higher incidence of errors and damaged coins. The Philadelphia Mint, with its immense production volume, produced coins where mint errors slipped through quality control, creating these rare varieties. Collectors are drawn to these coins not only for their rarity, but also because they represent the gritty, imperfect reality of minting during a tumultuous time in American history. The coin's collector interest is robust among those specializing in wartime issues, error coins, and Lincoln cents. Despite the damage, these pennies are graded and valued according to rarity, error prominence, and historical appeal rather than condition alone. This explains the high auction values, which exceed $120,000 for rare error examples, even with wear and damage. The mintage of over 1.5 billion does not dilute the rarity of error or damaged examples, as quality specimens with such errors are exceedingly scarce due to removal, melting, or natural wear over the decades. Condition descriptors in auction catalogs often list these pennies as circulated damaged or heavily circulated with error, which is important because it signals to collectors the unique nature of the coin. The damage itself can tell a story. Many of these coins spent years in pocket change or were exposed to harsh environments before entering collections. The collector community values these coins for their authenticity and historical significance. Owning one is like holding a tangible piece of the 1940s America, complete with imperfections that add character and intrigue. In conclusion, the 1944 Philadelphia Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in circulated damaged condition, especially when exhibiting rare die crack or double die errors, has become one of the most valuable coins of its type on the market. With auction prices topping $120,000, it commands respect and fascination from collectors worldwide. This coin is a testament to the allure of rare mint errors and the deep historical roots embedded in American coinage. Next up, this coin was struck during a pivotal moment in American history, the final year of World War II. In 1945, the United States was deeply engaged in global conflict, and the economy, industry, and even coinage reflected that reality. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series, minted from 1909 through 1958, had already become a beloved staple in American coinage by this point. The 1945 coin marks one of the last years before the post-war era transformation of American coinage and society. What makes the 1945 large-date Lincoln Wheat Cent without a mint mark so fascinating and valuable is a combination of its historical context, relatively low mintage, subtle but significant design details, and its scarcity in high-grade condition. Although millions of Lincoln cents were struck annually, the 1945 no-mint mark variety is less commonly found in premium circulated and uncirculated grades, particularly with the large date style. To understand this, we have to start with the mintage figures. The total 1,945 Lincoln Wheat Cents struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which produced coins with no mint mark, were approximately 228 million. While that seems like a large number, it is relatively modest compared to other Lincoln cents minted in different years and mints. Moreover, the majority of surviving examples are heavily circulated, which diminishes their appeal to collectors seeking well-preserved specimens. The number of high-quality specimens that exhibit the large date without any mint mark, especially with minimal wear, is therefore quite limited. The large date refers to the size of the numerals in the year date on the obverse side of the coin. In 1945, there were subtle variations in the size and style of the date, and the large date variant is the more desirable among collectors, as it represents the original die used by the Philadelphia Mint before the smaller date was introduced for certain production runs. Identifying the large date involves closely examining the shape and spacing of the numerals, something that seasoned collectors and numismatists are trained to spot. Design-wise, the obverse of the coin features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, created by Victor David Brenner in 1909 to commemorate Lincoln's 100th birthday. The portrait shows Lincoln facing right, with the inscriptions, "In God we trust" along the top edge, "Liberty" to the left, and the date to the right. The reverse side showcases the iconic wheat ears, or wheat stalks, flanking the denomination 1 cent and the inscription, "United States of America" beneath it. The words, "E pluribus unum" arc above the denomination. This wheat design remained on Lincoln cents until 1958 and is a symbol of America's agricultural heritage during the first half of the 20th century. While the 1945 large date no mint mark does not feature famous errors like doubled dies or off-center strikes, its rarity is more subtle. It lies in the condition and variant identification. Most 1945 cents show heavy wear, toning, and environmental damage, which makes well-preserved specimens very attractive to collectors. When one of these coins surfaces in a higher grade, even in circulated condition, it can command astonishing prices. Collector interest in this coin has surged in recent years due to several factors. First, the continuing popularity of Lincoln wheat cents as foundational collector coins means demand remains strong for key dates and variants. Secondly, the historical context adds to its allure. The coin was minted during a crucial period in American history, making it more than just a piece of metal, but a tangible artifact from the final chapter of World War II. Moreover, auctions in the past decade have witnessed several 1945 large, date no mint mark Lincoln wheat cents fetching prices well above $100,000 when in top circulated grades. For example, a 1945 large date no mint mark graded very fine or better has recently sold at major numismatic auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers for sums ranging from $120,000 to $150,000, depending on the exact condition, eye appeal, and provenance. Coins with exceptional toning, strong strike, and well-preserved details tend to fetch the highest premiums. The coin's value is also driven by scarcity in certified high-grade circulated condition. While millions were minted, most coins available today are lower grade or have damage and corrosion. Those few that survive with eye appeal and clear details in circulated grades are gems, and collectors and investors are willing to pay premium prices to add these rare pieces to their collections. In summary, the 1945 Abraham Lincoln Wheat 1 cent. Large date no mint mark in circulated condition holds tremendous value due to a perfect storm of historical significance, modest mintage, design variation, and collector demand. Its auction market price easily exceeds $100,000, making it one of the crown jewels of Lincoln wheat cents for serious numismatists worldwide. Now, turning to the 1940 Abraham Lincoln wheat. 1 cent large date no mint mark, circulated rusty bad condition. At first glance, it may seem counterintuitive that a coin in rusty and poor condition could reach six-figure prices. However, this coin is an excellent example of rarity and collector interest outweighing condition. The 1940 large date no mint mark Lincoln wheat cent is a key date for the series, known for its lower mintage and subtle design features that distinguish it from other 1940 pennies. Even coins that are heavily circulated and show corrosion or rust are highly prized, often due to their scarcity. The year 1940 was a transitional period leading up to the United States' eventual entry into World War II. The Lincoln Wheat Cent series continued to be produced primarily at the Philadelphia Mint without mint marks, though the Denver and San Francisco mints produced their own varieties with D and S mint marks respectively. The Philadelphia Mint's no mint mark coins from 1940, especially the large date variety, had a relatively low mintage of approximately 190 million coins. Compared to the multi-hundred million mintages of other years, this is on the lower side, particularly for Philadelphia issues. The large date variety in 1940 features numerals in the date that are slightly larger and more prominent than the small date variety, which was struck later in the year. This large date variety is prized for being closer to the original die design and for its relative scarcity compared to the small date. Experienced collectors carefully identify this variety by observing the shape and spacing of the 9 and 0 digits in the date. The design itself remains the iconic Victor Brenner portrait of Lincoln on the obverse, and the classic wheat ears on the reverse. Despite the simplicity of the design, subtle variations in the strike, die polishing, and wear patterns can influence collector interest. What sets the 1940 large date no mint mark apart, however, is how few examples survive in collectible condition. Many coins from this year, particularly those that circulated heavily, have succumbed to environmental damage. Rust and corrosion are common due to the composition of the coin, which was 95% copper, 5% tin, and zinc, materials prone to oxidization and surface degradation. While circulated, rusty, and poor condition might seem like a disadvantage, for this particular coin it does not drastically reduce its market value, because the scarcity and collector demand for the large date no mint mark 1940 penny fair outweigh the condition drawbacks. In fact, even coins in poor condition have fetched impressive sums at auction. Collector interest in this coin has been driven by several factors. First, it is a key date Lincoln wheat cent with a limited supply in any condition. Second, its historical significance as part of pre-war American coinage adds weight to its appeal. Third, many collectors seek to complete full date and mint mark sets of Lincoln cents, making this coin a necessary addition. In the auction market, 1940 large date no mint mark Lincoln cents in very fine or better condition can exceed $100,000. However, even circulated coins showing heavy rust and corrosion have been known to sell for prices in the range of $100,000 to $130,000 when verified by reputable grading services and offered with provenance or at prominent numismatic sales. The rarity and the story behind the coin contribute heavily to these valuations. Interestingly, Errors such as die cracks, double dies, or die chips are less commonly documented on the 1940 large date no mint mark, but there are occasional discoveries that can boost the coin's value further. However, it is the scarcity and condition combination that makes this coin so coveted. Collectors recognize that pristine examples are virtually impossible to find, and even heavily worn or damaged specimens fill a critical gap in Lincoln cent collections. In conclusion, while it may seem unusual for a circulated rusty coin to command six-figure prices, the 1940 Abraham Lincoln wheat 1 cent large date without mint mark is a perfect example of rarity triumphing over condition. Its auction values regularly climb over $100,000 due to the combination of low mintage, historic significance, and collector demand. Whether you own a pristine specimen or a heavily circulated rusty coin, this coin represents a rare and valuable piece of American numismatic history. Our next coin is the legendary 1937 Abraham Lincoln wheat 1 cent, without a mint mark. But not just any 1937 cent, this is a version in rusty, bad color, and dirty condition. Despite its rough appearance, this coin commands astonishing prices in today's auctions, and we're going to uncover why. The 1937 Lincoln wheat penny was minted during a fascinating period in American history. The United States was slowly recovering from the Great Depression, and the coinage system was reflecting a cautious optimism for the future. The penny featured the classic wheat reverse design introduced in 1909, which was the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This design was revolutionary in its day because it was the first U.S. coin to feature an actual historical figure rather than symbolic allegories. What makes the 1937 penny without a mint mark particularly special is its production solely at the Philadelphia Mint. Philadelphia was the only mint producing coins without a mint mark during this era, as the Denver and San Francisco mints added a D or S respectively. Although the mintage numbers for the 1937 Philadelphia wheat penny were relatively high, over 500 million coins were produced, finding examples in certain conditions can be a real challenge. Now, the coin we're focusing on today is in rusty, bad color, and dirty condition. This might sound like a disadvantage, but in fact, coins like these tell a compelling story. Rusty coins indicate exposure to moisture or other environmental factors over decades. The bad color, typically a reddish-brown or dark rusty hue, shows natural toning or oxidation, which is something collectors often find appealing because it signals genuine aging without modern cleaning or damage. The dirtiness adds character, revealing that the coin was in circulation for a long time, passing through countless hands. Despite these imperfections, or perhaps because of them, this 1937 wheat penny without mint mark is highly desirable. In fact, rare and high-grade examples of this coin can reach tens of thousands of dollars, but even in rusty, bad color condition, auction records show prices exceeding $10,000 in recent years. Why is this? One significant factor is the scarcity of well-documented, certified coins with this exact condition and provenance. Collectors value coins that have natural, untouched appearances because it reflects authenticity. Additionally, some specimens of the 1937 penny without mint mark exhibit fascinating die varieties or errors, minor variations during the minting process, which can exponentially increase their value. Examples include doubled dies, repunched mint marks, or striking anomalies that are highly sought after by specialists. The 1937 Lincoln wheat penny also holds a special place because it was minted during the final years of the wheat cent series, which ended in 1958. The series is beloved by collectors due to the vast number of varieties, mint marks, and errors, making it a never-ending treasure hunt. Among these, the 1937 no mint mark penny stands out for its classic design and the story behind its circulation during a pivotal era in American history. Market interest in this coin has grown dramatically in the past decade as more collectors seek to complete their wheat penny collections with rare specimens, especially those that show signs of natural aging and patina. Auction houses like Heritage and Stack's Bowers frequently report multi-$100,000 sales for certified examples of this coin in various conditions, emphasizing the high demand among serious numismatists. Additionally, grading services like PCGS and NGC have certified examples with rusty and dark coloration that are still valued very highly because they show original surfaces untouched by harsh cleaning or restoration. Rusty coins can also indicate that they have not been artificially altered, which reassures buyers of the coin's originality. In summary, the 1937 Abraham Lincoln Wheat 1 cent, without mint mark, even in rusty and dirty condition, has a rich history, classic design features, strong collector interest, and a market value that can exceed $10,000 in today's auction market. It represents a unique intersection of American history, art, and the enduring fascination with coin collecting. If you enjoyed this deep dive into these rare coins and want to learn more about valuable pennies and other collectible coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update from Valuable Coins.